Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Lan and myself here on Lost Temple. So this is going to be a Terran versus Zerg matchup here on Lost Temple. Crota spawning as the blue Terran player over here on what I'll call the 7 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Lan spawning as the red Zerg player over here at the 1 o'clock position. Just a little bit of an update for all of you guys. I found out that the beta key does in fact work for Europe. So it is an international beta key, so any European people who wanted to donate, if you guys have already donated, you guys will be in the raffle. If you were thinking about it, you can go ahead and donate as well. It's only $3. Link is on my main website. Yeah, this was the game where this was right after the game where I just got demoted, so a little bit sad. I was on a 3-game winning streak, and then I got demoted to the Gold League, so not quite sure why Blizzard decided to demote me, but continuing to play some pretty great games. The gold players, perhaps they are a little bit more in my caliber or more in my league, and these games will be more interesting for you guys, as I won't be overrun as much, and perhaps as my macro improves, maybe I will in fact go back into that Platinum League. But no real rush to get spanked by KHB or David Kim or any of those really uber players out there, Artosis perhaps. SCV now going out to do some scouting, an additional Overlord sitting over here as well, a drone now coming out to scout. So that drone in fact trying to get an early hatchery over here. In fact, taking a look at this base right now, spawning pool now being put down. So spawning pool coming down, and a fair number of drones, and most likely going to get that queen in just a moment. Lan not getting that queen quite yet. A little bit surprised by that, as that queen really helps that larva production. Now getting that that geyser, so still behind in terms of getting that. Oh, sorry, the queen needs that spawning pool. Silly me. Now in comes this SCV. Quickly scout out the spawning pool. Wanted to figure out if he's in fact getting gas, and as soon as I see that he is in fact getting spawning pool, I think, okay, he's going to be teching roaches. No, I do not see any hatcheries here, but in fact I am going to try to drop down a single supply depot, or part of a supply depot here, in order to do some scouting. Only leave it about half built so I can cancel it when the time comes. 4 Zerglings now out, and a hatchery now producing that single queen. Couple of Zerglings moving in, so there's 6 Zerglings right here, and here comes this attack right now. So Zergling's gonna try to take down this poor SCV. SCV now trying to run away. SCV running away, and I'm gonna be scouting back over to this position, making him believe that I am in fact sitting over here. I don't think he quite scouted me yet. Perhaps he did scout me with that drone. I didn't think that he in fact did. Right now this SCV is still moving out, and now gonna head up this ramp. And those SCVs not wanting to chase, perhaps thinking that I in fact am in that location. Zergling's going to be coming back into here, so I'm going to try to take down the supply depot. Supply depot down to 200 hit points, and I think I'm able to cancel it in time. Yeah, I'm able to cancel it in time, and I get some of the minerals back. I do not get all of the minerals back, and now I'm going to be massing marauders. So massing those marauders for eventually those roaches, which I know will be coming. And in fact, there is a roach warren being built. Land sitting on a fair number of drones. So 17 drones against my 16, but I do in fact have a single mule. Zergling's trying to come in and perhaps want to test this front door, as I'm going triple barracks. Going to go single barracks with a tech lab, and then double barracks with reactor core. Zergling's going to quickly come up here, find a nice surprise with those concussion missiles, and there's one dead Zergling left behind. Now trying to move those marauders over, perhaps trying to catch another straggling Zergling. Unable to, but I am teching that stim pack right now and going to be producing more marines. Zergling's not close enough to that Zonaga watchtower to activate it, and a single overlord sitting on that high ground in order to keep track if I am in fact getting an expansion hatchery now coming down from land. And I'm naturally expecting him to get a hatchery after that roach warren. That seems to be a very strong play and a strong strategy that a lot of Zerg players like to do. They get, and the larva injection allows you to get about 7 roaches, and those 7 roaches in fact enable you to easily defend anything that I can throw at a Zerg player at this point. But as long as that hatchery isn't up as quickly, I should be fine right there. I am massing up more units. I did not spend an extra 300 minerals on more buildings, and I'm just trying to mass as many marines and as many marauders as I possibly can to try to counteract this army. Stim pack nearing completion. An overlord now coming in, and I'm thinking to myself, Land cannot possibly not think that a Terran player has Marines. Does he? He goes ahead and sends in a single Overlord, and down goes that Overlord, getting shot down right there. And once I have revealed my Marines, I realize that I really need to move out with a pretty strong attack force. He's now sitting at 33 over 34 food, still injecting more larvae, and finally getting more roaches, more Overlords moving out across the map as well. The Overlords look as though they have that movement upgrade. Yeah, so those Overlords are in fact able to move much more quickly. And now those Zerglings with that adrenaline speed now moving very quickly with a single Roach as well. So Roaches and Lings in position. I'm getting a couple more Marines here. Gonna try to take down this Overlord. If I'm able to take down that Overlord, and I'm not able to, unfortunately, now trying to fight back into here, trying to come back, and now here come those Zerglings. So I am stimming, and I'm trying to fight back against this large number of Zergling and Roaches in this position here. The Roaches should probably be focusing down the Marauders, as the Marines should be able to finish down those Zerglings pretty quickly, and the Marauders also have that 1 hit point. I swore I set the affinity on this map. More fighting, just a couple Roaches being left behind, more Zerglings being spawned, and down goes my last Marauder. So sitting at 36 over 44, and compared to my 34 over 51, I need to mass more units. So with this dual barracks and that reactor core, I believe I can really take this position, taking down those 2 Zerglings on this high ground. And I think this is where land just really overcommits in this fight. Overcommits in this fight and tries to break into my front door. And wow, this is really, really bad lag. I wonder why. Is it the Zerglings moving around? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, here we have a couple Zerglings and a couple Roaches. They're going to try to come in on this front door. I'm moving my Marines into this position in order to be able to counteract them. Also getting the combat shield upgrade so that those Marines will have far further hit points. Getting a factory as well, and also getting the weapon upgrade. If I get that weapon upgrade, that will be in fact very strong for my Marines, as it kind of negates the power of those Roaches. Those Roaches with that very, very high armor. I do not want to... I don't want to try to fight them without weapons upgrades. 2 armor? Those Zerglings will be taken down much more quickly, as I'm doing 7 damage per Marine as opposed to 6. More Marines being produced, more Marauders being produced, so a very, very sizable army. What is this sitting right here? 15 Marines and 4 Marauders, and now dropping down a medevac? Am I dropping down a medevac? Wow. I apologize about the lag, yeah. Now dropping down at Starport and getting a reactor in order to get some Hellions as well. Engineering Bay, gonna grab some Engineering Bay nearing completion, and I want to get an additional turret. And Zerg does in fact have more hatcheries than I do, but if you take a look at the drone count is pretty even, 26 to 22, and I in fact have mules. Overlord still running around the map, and now we finally have some Mutalisks. Mutalisks are going to be a very, very painful unit for me to counter. I finally move out of my base, and I'm thinking, okay, I think it's time for me to try to push out here, and I'm also building turrets, as I am expecting some form of Mutalisk harassment, but in comes those Mutalisks, and those Mutalisks are going to quickly take down and try to take down that SCV, and SCV gets taken down, and those Mutalisks are just harassing my base right there, able to cancel that turret, as those Mutalisks are just focusing overhead, now moving those SCVs over and trying to move back these Marauders. Zerglings do not want to come up that ramp, as I have a couple Marines sitting there. I in fact have that combat shield, so that combat shield gonna help me out a lot in this position. Also getting a starport. I'm going to take this time and this pause in the game to say stay tuned for part 2 and the conclusion of this replay between myself and Lan here on Lost Temple.